Ever walk into a room and just like feel the stress, you know? Like you can practically taste it.
It's funny you should say that, because the research we're diving into today suggests our bodies might actually be transmitting stress through smell.
Wait, are you serious? So it's not just me being, I don't know, overly sensitive to bad vibes?
You might be onto something. This study, it's called How Emotional Changes Affect Skin Odor and Its Impact on Others, and it really digs into this whole idea. Can stress create a detectable scent?
Okay, I am so ready for this. Let's do it.
All right, so they gathered 40 women in Japan,
Okay.
and to keep things consistent, they were all non-smokers within a similar age range, just to make sure things were controlled.
Okay, so controlled environment makes sense,
Mhm.
but how do you actually create stress in a lab?
So they had them do some interviews that were designed to be a bit anxiety-inducing, like
Yeah.
the kind of thing that gets your heart rate up.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean.
But the thing is, they didn't just rely on people, like, saying, yep, I felt stressed,
Right.
because people are unreliable narrators.
Oh, totally. I'm the queen of saying I'm fine when I'm actually freaking out inside.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they used these really cool measurements of their heart activity, like electrocardiograms. And they even checked their stress hormone levels, like cortisol, in their saliva, all to confirm their bodies were actually in that fight or flight mode.
Wow, so no faking a freak out here.
Yeah.
They knew when the stress was legit.
Exactly.
So then what? Did they like make everyone smell each other's armpits?
Not quite. They had these special bags, basically, that collected what they called skin gas from the participants' hands.
Skin gas.
Yeah, basically
Yeah.
just the odors coming off their skin. And they collected this both during those stressful interviews and again when they were just chilling out, reading a magazine,
Okay.
totally relaxed.
So they've like bottled up the essence of interview stress and Sunday morning chill.
Exactly.
But how could they even tell if there was a difference in how those smelled?
So they brought in the big guns for this part. Or I guess I should say they brought in the big noses.
Intrigued. Tell me more.
These weren't just any scientists, they were odor experts, like professional sniffers, trained to identify even the subtlest of scents.
Get out of here. That's a real job.
Oh yeah, it's serious business.
Burn.
And you would not believe what these experts detected in the stressed out skin gas.
Oh, come on. Don't leave me hanging. What did stressed out skin gas smell like? Like old coffee and desperation?
Ready for this? They said it smelled like stir-fried leeks.
Stir-fried leeks. Now, that is not what I was expecting.
I know, right? You'd think maybe burnt coffee, like you said, or maybe even something kind of, I don't know, metallic or sharp.
Yeah.
But nope, stir-fried leeks. And here's the really interesting part. This smell, it wasn't present after physical exertion. Like, they had some of the participants do a cycling test to get their heart rates up, and the odor experts didn't pick up on that same stir-fried leek smell.
Oh, interesting. So it's not just that our bodies make weird smells when we're working hard. There's something specific about psychological stress, the mental kind, that creates this unique aroma.
It seems so, yeah. Like, our bodies have this whole way of signaling stress that we might not even be conscious of.
Now that you mention it, have you ever noticed how crowded, stressful places can have this, like, strange smell? Think about, like, a packed subway car during rush hour or a really intense meeting at work.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it's not just sweat. Maybe it's the collective stress of the crowd, this invisible cloud of stir-fried leeks wafting around.
That's an interesting thought.
Right, like our own personal stress clouds mingling together.
It kind of makes you want to hand out face masks and share pills, doesn't it?
Seriously, or maybe just like walk around spritzing everyone with some kind of like anti-stress essential oil.
There you go. New business idea. Stress-busting aromatherapy for the modern age.
I'm calling my patent lawyer right now.
But in all seriousness, this idea that stress has a smell and that we might actually be picking up on it subconsciously, it really makes you wonder about the power of scent, doesn't it?
It really does. Like, what if we've been walking around this whole time completely oblivious to this secret language of smell?
Right. And if stress has a smell, what else does? What about happiness? Or sadness? Or, I don't know, excitement?
Okay, now my mind is officially blown. This is way more than just body odor. This is like a whole new frontier of human communication.
Exactly. And the best part is, we're only just starting to scratch the surface.
Oh, okay, so stress smells like a stir-fry gone wrong. But if we can't even consciously smell it, how is this information useful at all?
Well, that's the million-dollar question. And this is where the research gets really wild. It's not just that stress has a smell, It's that this smell, it might actually be messing with your mood without you even realizing it.
Wait, Alden, are you saying stress is like contagious
Well,
through the air? Like some kind of emotional virus?
it's a bit more nuanced than that, but essentially, yeah. The researchers, they wanted to figure out if these scent signals, even if we're not consciously aware of them, could be picked up by other people, and if so, what kind of effect would that have?
Okay, so how did they test that? Did they like develop some high-tech stress sniffing device?
You'd think, right.
Yeah.
But they actually went surprisingly low-tech for this part. So first, they had to figure out exactly what was in this stress smell, what chemicals were causing it.
Okay, so they broke it down, like chemically analyzed it.
Exactly. Through some serious chemical analysis, they identified the main culprits, these two compounds, allyl-mercaptan and dimethyl trisulfide.
Alum or fight now? Okay, maybe stick with the low-tech explanations for this part.
Fair enough. Basically, these compounds, they contain sulfur, and sulfur is found in a lot of strongly scented foods. Think like garlic, cabbage, things like that. Which, by the way, is why that whole stir-fried leek comparison is so spot on, because leeks, they also have these sulfur compounds.
Aha, okay, so they're like the smelly building blocks of the stress aroma.
Precisely. So once they knew what chemicals were involved, they were able to actually recreate this stress odor in the lab.
So they basically bottled the essence of a panic attack. Sounds like the opposite of aromatherapy. But what did they do with it?
All right, so they got a whole new group of participants for this part, and they had these participants smell these synthesized odors, but in very, very low concentrations. We're talking like barely detectable levels here.
Okay, so just a hint, a whisper of stress.
Exactly. And get this, just from smelling this faint stress odor, people reported feeling more tense, more confused, and even a bit fatigued.
No way, are you serious? So it wasn't just detecting stress, the smell itself was actually transferring those feelings.
It seems that way.
That is both fascinating and slightly terrifying. It's like if anxiety was an air freshener.
Right. It really makes you think about how much information our sense of smell is processing, often without us even realizing it. We focus so much on sight and sound, but smell, it's like this whole other language that we're only just beginning to understand.
Totally, like we put so much effort into how we look, how we sound, but what if our smell is sending out these subconscious messages that we have no control over?
Oh.
It's like, whoa, our bodies are having this whole conversation with everyone around us,
Right.
and we don't even know about it. It's like they're speaking a language that we never even learned, the language of smell.
And just like with any other language, it can be used in so many different ways. This research, it just opens up so many questions.
Yeah.
Like, could we use this knowledge to detect stress, like in ourselves and others, maybe even before we're aware of it consciously?
I can totally see it now, like stress detectors on our phones, right? Or maybe there'll be a new app, like Stressed Out. There's a smell for that.
There you go.
But seriously, think about it. What if we could, like, recognize those early signs of stress in a coworker or a loved one? You know, just by a little change in how they smell.
Imagine that, being able to like step in, offer support, maybe suggest taking a break or something before things even have a chance to escalate. It could be a game changer, especially when it comes to mental health awareness.
Huge. And not just for, like, helping others, but for ourselves too, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
What if we could be more aware of our own scent signals and how they might be affecting those around us? It's like a whole new level of emotional intelligence, or maybe like olfactory intelligence.
It really makes you wonder if we could somehow harness this power of scent for good, you know?
Right.
What if we could create fragrances that like actively promote calmness and well-being? Like, imagine if there were perfumes or colognes that could actually counteract those negative effects of the stress odor.
Whoa. So instead of just trying to cover up body odor, we'd be creating these scents that actually make us feel better.
Exactly.
From stress signals to, like, scent solutions. Who knew body odor could be so complex?
It really is amazing when you think about it.
Yeah.
The more we learn about the human body, the more we realize we've just scratched the surface.
Well said. That's the beauty of science, right? There's always more to uncover, always another layer to peel back. Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive into the fascinating world of stress and smell.
It's been fun.
But we'll leave you with this. The next time you catch a whiff of something a little unusual, don't just like wrinkle your nose and move on.
Yeah.
Take just a moment to really consider what your sense of smell might be trying to tell you, because you might be surprised by what you discover. Until next time, stay curious.